From the desert vineyards of southern British Columbia to the frozen tundra high above the Arctic Circle, to the urban center of Winnipeg and the rocky shores of Newfoundland, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis are establishing and promoting business ventures and partnerships that will provide long-term employment and benefits for years to come. Revenues are reinvested into infrastructure and new economic opportunities that will generate employment and support social programs into the future. At the core of these economic development initiatives, great consideration is given to maintaining a balance between progress and preservation of cultural heritage and the environment.
The businesses we have here in Osceola, half of our businesses are in the tourism sector, golf courses, wineries, vineyards, cultural center. We're also in the construction industry. We're doing a residential development. We've got commercial development, industrial developments, but at the same time, the vast majority of our land we're going to leave in its natural state, because that's also part of our responsibility. We're not looking to maximize every square inch of our reserve in terms of economic development, because half of our responsibility has to be to the environment and to our cultural activities.
The leaders of Wendake First Nation in Quebec realize the potential for economic benefits through tourism. Their newly built First Nations Hotel Museum gets its inspiration from Huron-Wendat culture. This is one of many integrated, sustainable economic development projects of a social and cultural nature that Wendake has created. Not far from this four-star hotel museum, the Huron Traditional Site also provides visitors an opportunity to discover the history, culture, and lifestyle of the Huron-Wendat people. In Winnipeg, two Métis siblings formed a 100% Aboriginal-owned company with a passion for keeping their heritage and culture alive. Manitoba Mucklucks produces original footwear, balancing traditional and contemporary elements.
Here at Manitoba Mucklucks, we produce over 200 pairs of mucklucks per day. We have over 50 staff. We are sold in 22 different countries and counting.
It's important for us to be made in Canada. It ties closely into our heritage and our tradition and culture, and so that's always been very important in everything we've done at Manitoba Mucklucks.
When the Inuvialuit of the Northwest Territories successfully negotiated their final agreement land claim in 1984, they set up the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation to enable their people to be equal and meaningful participants in the northern and national economy and society. They have legal control and ownership of 91,000 square kilometers of land, including 13,000 square kilometers with subsurface rights to oil, gas, and minerals. The IDC is the economic development branch of this parent corporation, set up to advance the many economic development opportunities in the Western Arctic while protecting the environment.
IDC is 100% Aboriginally owned. Our sole shareholder is the IRC and the Inuvialuit beneficiaries. IDC owns or has shares or partnerships in 20 different companies, either within the Inuvialuit settlement region or in Western Canada.
Member 2 is a rags to riches story. Member 2 was struggling, as many First Nations are, with living off the funding from the federal government. And we had very few full-time jobs. We basically had no economic development. We began the process of generating our own revenue to look after our own programs, invest in new businesses and new opportunities. It's been a dramatic change to go from a have-not First Nation into a First Nation that makes an economic impact here in Cape Breton.
Whitecap Dakota First Nation in Saskatchewan capitalized on its unique landscape and proximity to Saskatoon to to attract over 1 million visitors annually to Dakota Dunes Golf Links, its championship 18-hole golf course, and the Dakota Dunes Casino.
The golf course was here first, and it started with a piece of land that really didn't have any other use, and became a world-class golf course, led to a casino, led to further economic development. So it's been a great starting block for the Whitecap Dakota First Nation.
Meowbugik First Nation in Newfoundland also appreciates the potential of its land for economic development.
We look after the land, we look after our spirit, and we look after the people. And therefore, the businesses we develop through economic development to make this community a success must look after those three elements.
I feel our biggest success for the company, the Occasional Band, is that all the young people have jobs, job security in the future. If you want to work, you can definitely get out and get a job. There's many businesses within our company that you can excel in.
The policy of Manitoba Mucklux is to recruit and retain Aboriginal employees, and we give precedence to Aboriginal applicants, and that's reflected in our in the sales office and the administrative office.
You know, we're there to ensure that when we invest, that our bottom line is to make money and to have employment and training for our beneficiaries, and also to be there for the long run.
When I first came into leadership with our community here, we had an unemployment rate of about 70%. And today we have an unemployment rate of about 6%. And we actually have more jobs than people today.
If someone really wants to work and they're from Member 2, there is a job for them.
"50% of Wendake's Huron-Wendat Hotel and Museum staff is made up of First Nation members, many of whom were trained locally at the Development and Workforce Training Center of the Huron-Wendat Nation. The center offers adult education, college degrees, and professional training programs.
One of the important strategies here in Member 2 is always to develop the people first. And we've been very fortunate over the years that Member 2 has had a strong relationship with local university and training institutions. And the key to Member 2's success has been that we have a skilled, highly educated workforce who provide leadership, who provide management, and who make up a great part of our workforce here in Member 2.
We've taken over control of the school, and we're, bringing out of our school on a regular basis 10, 15 graduates every year that's going off to higher learning. And we've also had an incredible program for adults that went back and get higher learning and come back to be part of our system. So it's an incredible place for young people to advance in anything they want to do.
We are hoping that through summer student programs that we can interest some of the youth to consider the winery as a career choice and to come back and work here in the future.
We work very hard to deal not only at a higher level but at a community level with the Inuit. So I think that the more we can bring people into a self-sustaining level of lifestyles and creating more wealth for us, that would be the success.
Well, it's always been a part of our mandate from day one, is to look at self-sufficiency through economic development and tourism.
My dream is for the community that it's well off. It doesn't depend on government contributions to survive.
I'm very proud that I'm the owner of a Métis company, and I think it's a fantastic example for our community.
We got to start standing on our own 2 feet and creating our own jobs and making our own money. That's First Nation self-sufficiency. That's how you bring back First Nations pride, is when our people are working for a living.